Hi, good morning. I'm here this morning with Mike Weiss, the Assistant Director for the Kettles Military and Veteran Resource Center at the Eastern Michigan University. And they are being recognized as a top veteran-friendly school as well as a top yellow ribbon school. So I want to thank you, first of all, for joining us today. And I look forward to finding out a little bit more about you and the school and your center.
All right. Well, I'm happy to share.
Thank you. Well, I want to go ahead and let's start a little bit about yourself and give us an introduction. If you could tell me, your full name, your title, what, a little bit of what you do there, how long you've been there.
Well, my name is Michael Wise. I'm a retired Army Lieutenant Colonel. I've been here at Eastern Michigan since about May of 2010. Been in this role as a Veterans Director since 2014. And so I've been all over the world, worked with a lot of veterans over the years. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
Well, thank you for your service. Tell me a little bit about how your journey went from the military to the university. Was this your first job, or did you get referred? How did you end up there?
Well, I did 20 years of active duty in the United States Army. The Army actually sent me to Eastern Michigan as the professor of military science for the Army ROTC battalion here at the university. And that's where I spent my last 3 years on active duty, preparing young cadets to be lieutenants in the Army. And so that's what I did for my first 3 years here at Eastern.
Excellent. I know that your school has a very rich history, and the university's origins are unique, and there's even some famous founding story associated with it. Can you elaborate on how the school was established and tell us a little bit about the key figure in the university's history?
Yeah, the university, the military history of the university goes way, way back, all the way back to even before the Civil War. I was actually just reading a history book that someone had written about the university, and it talked about the military and all the different conflicts that have gone on since this university's been open. Back in 1849 is when the university was established. So there's even more military roots beyond that go way back. But what I do know is that in 1952, that is when the Army ROTC battalion became a kind of a handshake agreement between the Army and the university. And we're not the only university that has this. There's over 200 public universities that have Army ROTC on their campus. And so ours started in 1952. And we've been commissioning lieutenants ever since. So that's the primary mission. I like to consider, so that some people will understand it a little bit. It helps to kind of understand, but Army ROTC battalions are like tiny little West Points. So the good news is that the student can go to school at a public university, but receive the same type of military training to prepare them to be lieutenants in the Army, which is the same thing West Point does, except they do it in a institutional kind of a lockdown situation for those cadets.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
Is there a specific, testimonial or student or anyone that's come through that you can share with us that is someone that you remember?
There's so many there's too many to name, but I could tell you about one cadet that, a hard charger, comes in as a freshman, has no idea about the military at all, just wants to pursue becoming an officer in the Army right out of high school. So they come to the university. They may or may not be on any, an Army scholarship, because the Army gives a lot of scholarships out to potential lieutenants. And so, the cadet comes in. He's in this case, it's a he, and he joins every possible organization that he can join while he's a freshman in the Army ROTC battalion, and he learns everything he can learn about the Army every year that he's in the ROTC battalion. So, and in the end, he ended up getting selected for the George C. Marshall Award, a trip to West Point, and some other accolades prior to him becoming a lieutenant. And so that's just one story. The cadets do all kinds of amazing things.
And we know that, which is why your school is being recognized.
So I always give the accolade. I don't want Eastern Michigan Military and Veterans Services to be the military friendly aspect of our campus. I want it to be the entire university. And that's where it starts, is at the top.
I absolutely agree. That is one of the reasons why a lot of these resource centers grow. It's when you have that support, because it does trickle down, but then other students also start recognizing who the veterans are as well, because you have that support. And I just want to go back to mention another point that you made that I think is really valuable for people to, and our readers to understand, is that it's not just about the student that's graduating. It's also about their families. I mean, right. I had another interview where they not only had to answer the question of the student, but maybe their spouse wanted to go to school, or they have children. And so you want to, when you answer all those questions and you make them feel comfortable, it really resonates with the veteran to want to also graduate, because along that journey, things could happen. And it's not that easy just to stay in for the years that come. So having a center to come to and talk to, and actually having a person to speak to, not just call in, it is a milestone, because I think it's those small touches that make each school unique and special. And I just wanted to point that out, that I think that's something that you guys are doing very well, and that I would commend you on.
Thank you.
You know, another thing that I really liked about your school when I was reading up, and I did our pre-chat, is, and I don't think a lot of schools do this off the bat, besides all the programs and everything else, is that, and yes, it is to get a job, but you also encourage them to get advanced degrees. Like, don't just stop there. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you do that, and why you do that, and how you do it from the beginning?
Yeah, along the way, I mean, obviously we're going to keep tabs on how well they're doing in classes, and try to encourage that GPA to be above a 2. I mean, we can all try to strive for a C, but graduate schools don't, they like to see a little bit higher than a 2.0. So as we communicate with them about their undergrad degrees, which in many cases is shortened because of their time in the service and some of the training they've already had, they get actually college credits for some of their training. So they don't, in some cases, they don't have to do 4 years. They only have to do like 3, because they have so many college credits coming in to take a particular course of study. So their path is sometimes shorter. So in that time period, as we communicate with them and as we counsel them each semester, we start to talk about the graduate school bug. You know, how do you feel about going to graduate school? And a lot of them end up doing that. Some of them will say, well, I want to get my bachelor's, go out in the workforce for a while, and then I'm going to come back and do my master's. And we even argue that sometimes. Why not just go after?
You're planting that seed. That's what you're doing, though.
Exactly.
I think when you plant the seed from the beginning, it takes away that fear factor, because I think part of it isn't that they don't have the time. I think there's a fear factor, but when you take that out and you let them know you're here, you might as well do it. And it helps to get the job or make more money, then why not? I think that encourages them.
I'm thinking of an example of a student who we did encourage to go to grad school, and she was actually an Army cadet who became a lieutenant. She was in the reserves, so she didn't have an active duty career ahead of her. She had one part-time one weekend a month, 2 weeks in the summer type situation with the Army. And she didn't think she was good enough to go to grad school. She says, I'm not smart enough. Her family had never really talked about it. And she applied from Eastern, she applied to U of M, which is a very prestigious school just down the road from us. And she got accepted. She could not believe it. And she went over there. She took the master's in social work there. She did great. She graduated within 2 years, inside of 2 years. And now she's just, she's got a great job and she's just doing wonderfully.
Oh, I love to
And
hear
so
that.
that was a good, a good example of someone who we encouraged to go to grad school. And then when she found out she was actually good enough and she was worthy, she started believing herself and went ahead and did it.
Oh, that's outstanding. So now I'm going to ask you the question that I ask everybody, because believe it or not, it's one of the most popular questions, Mike.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if they told you what it is or not, but does the school or do you live by any personal motto or a guiding philosophy?
Oh boy, that's a good one.
It could even be, something that can give advice or lift spirits to a veteran. Everybody has something different. And I just want to know for you, Mike, is there something that maybe you sign off on all your signatures, that you always say, or a motto or anything like that that's unique to you?
Treat people with dignity and respect.
I love it.
That's it.
Absolutely. I agree.
Really, if you can do that as a person, as a leader, if you can do that, no matter who you meet every day, who you run into, humble yourself and treat people with dignity and respect and for merit. You gotta treat you treat people with dignity and respect anyway, but you also help people understand that you appreciate them for their merits also, not just for how they're speaking to you or what they bring to the table, but merit based.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, treating people with dignity and respect has taken me a long way.
I agree. And I think if people took that route, they're going to see a whole different outcome versus the other way, if you think about it.
Yep.
Yep, that's great. I love it. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I've learned so much more about you and about the school. I'm looking forward to letting our readers know the valuable, rich history, but also the passion and the sincere gratitude that you have for veterans and wanting them to succeed and go on in their lives, to get the job and to be healthy and happy. I think that's what it's all about. So exactly. I just want to say thank you, and thank you for all that you do for our veterans. And we appreciate it so much.
Well, I appreciate the time and the interview and the questions. And I'm going to tell all my friends that I talked with Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa.
The Mona Lisa. Yep, that's my dad. He picked it.
You're not going to believe who I talked to today.
I know. And people always ask me, is that your real name? I go, yeah, my dad picked it, not me. But it is what it is. He's with the Lord right now. So
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with having a famous name like Michael.
You never know. It's one of my favorite names.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right. Take care. Have a great weekend. God bless.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.